Good afternoon and happy new month. We are halfway through the week, and as always, NMH at 1 is here to share the news, making headlines within and beyond the borders of Namibia at the top of the lunch hour. Economic news, local stories, international headlines, and sports updates all lined up in this broadcast, read to you by me, Glenora Shipura. Headlining today's show, bike of German tourists traveling through Africa on a bicycle stolen in Namibia. Development of chess considered a way of empowering the youth. Largest referral hospital in Ethiopia suspends regular operations due to lack of medicines and power outages. Stick around for these stories and more. In today's midday news update, the 23-year-old Albertina Jason, who disappeared with another woman's 3-month-old baby on 15th May from Tsumeb, was arrested yesterday at Oshanja village near Oshakati. The baby boy was medically checked and was confirmed to be in good health. Jason, who is expected to appear before the Tsumeb Magistrates Court today for kidnapping, was charged together with suspected accomplices Ledia Kahunehafo Shimbilinga from Oneheleua and her brother Joseph Natangwe Shatilwa. The siblings have already appeared in court. Do stick around for visual news right after the break. Getting into today's visual news, Roman Hofer, a tourist from Germany, is currently traveling through Africa on a bicycle. Unfortunately, his mode of transport got stolen in Namibia. Yolanda Nell has more.
A tourist from Germany currently traveling through Africa on a bicycle has no mode of transport after his bicycle got stolen in Ongwediva. Roman Hofer came to Namibia in April and has been cycling through the country, meeting people and enjoying the landscape. I caught up with him and asked him about the incident where he lost his bicycle.
So I was staying in a guest house in Ongwediva. I was camping inside the premises of the guest house, and my bicycle was locked to a tree. And it happened between 11 a.m. and 12 a.m. on the 26th of May. I was speaking on the phone with my family. I was inside the premises, and during this time, someone entered through a back gate, which happened to be opened and not locked. And this person, he went into my tent and started looking through my things, and had the luck to find the spare key to the lock of my bicycle, and just took that key. He didn't take any of the other valuable things I had inside the tent, opened the lock, and left through the back door. It was just really a combination of bad luck that he found the spare key, that the gate was not properly locked, and well, that yeah. I was really sad and frustrated. After 3 months traveling from Cape Town all the way here, the bike and me, we had endured, let's say, a lot. We crossed the Namibia Kloof Park. I saw the Fish River Canyon. I crossed the deserts in Namibia. We endured a lot of happiness. I met a lot of very hospitable people. They invited me to stay with them in their houses. They helped me continue with my journey. I met the Tamara people, I met the Herrero people, I met the Oshiwamo people, I met the Hinma people. So so yeah, it was a sad moment to have this mode of transport taken of me.
This photo was taken off the CCTV cameras at the lodge where he was staying at. Anyone who have maybe seen the bicycle in the area can give Roman a call on 081 403 4128. A case of theft has been opened at the Ongwadiva police station, and they can also be called with any information.
Director and founder of the Wind of Light Development Project, Tobias Emmanuel, talks about the development of chess in Walvis Bay as a way of empowering the youth. Let's take a look.
Hello viewers, I'm joined by Tobias Emmanuel, who's the director of the Wind of Light Development Project based here in Walvis Bay, an NGO. How are you doing, Mr. Tobias?
I'm so good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
All right.
Can you just tell us a bit about the Wind of Light Development Project, how it came about and what it's all about exactly?
Wind of Light Development Project is actually an NGO that we have established as Namibians with the purpose of enforcing unity in poverty eradication, looking at the fact that many unemployed graduates are suffering within the country. So we decided to come up with an NGO that will basically help most Namibians to partake in team businesses and as well to join hands together so that we can fight the poverty within the country.
Okay. And what are what have some of your achievements been this year, 2022?
This year we have achieved quite a number of goals that we have set to a point where we established ourselves with all the relevant registration documents. We as well tried to exercise some of our objectives. We have quite a number of objectives within our NGO where these objectives, they are all speaking to the need of our Namibian youth, especially the unemployed graduates. They find themselves in a situation where they cannot able to secure employment for themselves. And as an NGO, we believe that there is no way a country can achieve freedom to poverty if it's not through teamwork. And it is on that basis we are working on a slogan to say that let us unite so that we can actually enforce poverty eradication. Yeah, some of the
Newspapers are a good source for news and current affairs. And right on the other side of these, we'll be looking at some of the stories carried in Namibia's daily newspapers. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with NMH at 1. We now look at what the lead stories are in Namibia's daily newspapers. According to Namibian Sun, Usako's residents are up in arms after an Erongo Red board member allegedly got away with having outstanding electricity debt of about 650,000 Namibian dollars, while their electricity is disconnected when they owe much less. This came to light after an Erongo Red statement from 23 April regarding a service station allegedly owned by board member Irene Simeon Kurtz, who is also an USACOS councillor, was leaked to the community, showing that the business owed the regional electricity distributor 649,723.45 cents Namibian dollars. Community activist and member of Affirmative Repositioning, Joseph Kandowa, issued a letter to Erongo Red board chairperson Zoe Nambahu in May demanding corrective measures on the issue. On its page 3, the Namibian Sun informs that witchcraft accusations and ritual attacks against African children are hidden and ignored, yet are one of the most gruesome forms of violence against youngsters. This is according to a new report that urges African governments to stamp out witchcraft accusations against children. The new research from the African Child Policy Forum shows that every year, thousands of African children are accused of witchcraft and suffer ritual attacks, abuse, and physical and psychological violence. In Windhoek, Trans World Cargo has spent $8 million Namibian dollars to upgrade the railway siding at Gambam's Republican reports. The company serves clients like Namibia breweries and says it can now deliver a better and more cost-effective service. The CEO of TransNamib, Johnny Smith, says investments like these are welcomed as it will assist the national carrier in its plans to grow cargo transport in the coming years. Windhoek has 15 railway sidings, most of about 50 sidings in Namibia. Walvis Bay has 11 Tsumeb 6 and Ondangwa 4 railway sidings. Homeless people still living at facilities set up during the COVID-19 lockdown during April 2020 at the Commersdale Stadium in Windhoek have various complaints about their treatment. Residents told Republican they have not received food for the past 3 months. Toiletries were also previously provided to those living in these tent dwellings. The spokesperson of the Windhoek municipality, Harold Akwanye, denied allegations that land or erven were promised to the homeless when they moved to the center. A similar camp is set up at the Katutura Community Center, also in Windhoek. The Allgemeine Zeitung shares that Swakopmund will soon boast a brand new research, training and conference center after the official groundbreaking of the development by the International University of Management took place on Monday. The total investment is estimated at 42 million Namibian dollars. According to IUM founder and council chairman Prof. David Namwandi, the center will not only be utilized by IUM but other Namibian tertiary education institutions, including NAST and UNAM. Namwandi said during the official ceremony that nations that invest heavily in research and development prosper, while nations which do not invest in research and development remain poor. The Allgemeine Zeitung also reports on its page 3 that exploration company Recon Africa is sure of its alliance with the Namibian government and that it has already made pending drilling activities palatable to investors a week before the deadline for environmental impact objections. Do stick around for more newspaper review right after the break. Still continuing with our newspaper reviews, the Namibian on its front page shares news that 73 out of 120 cases reported to the Anti-Corruption Commission between 31 March 2020 and 31 March 2021 have been closed. According to the ACC, 64 out of the 73 closed cases were declined due to insufficient evidence to pursue investigations. The Namibian also reports that the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters says it will revisit the Cheetah Cement factory to ensure the company implements required labor protocols. This comes after the Ministry of Labor, Industrial Relations and Employment Creation granted the Chinese-owned factory to resume operations as of Monday this week. According to the New Era's page 1, Agriculture Deputy Minister Anna Shiweda, during a virtual meeting of the 2022 Economic Forum, said the nations need to move beyond production to agro-processing, a dream which still lies in the distant future for the country, according to the paper. On its page 3, the New Era reports that school feeding programs at government schools, which feed about 460,000 children, have been impacting schools' attendance positively. Omusati Education Director Benny Asep said that his office notices numerous primary school learners who are always absent from school when the feeding stops. Market Watch takes us into economic news as it reports that despite the devastating impact of the Delta COVID-19 variant in the winter of 2021, as well as another COVID-19 wave in the peak trading period during December 2021, the 8 companies in the portfolio of stimulus investments continue to strengthen their balance sheets and produce encouraging trading results, locally listed SIL said yesterday. Stimulus Investments, one of the country's largest private equity funds, released its financial results for the year ended 28 February 2022 on the Namibian Stock Exchange on Monday. A youth investment bank is on the cards for the African Development Bank. After the break, we share what this means for African entrepreneurs as we dive into our economic news.
Have you received a loan from NSFAF? NSFAF loan is the same as any other loan. It must be paid and settled. NSFAF has a set of guidelines on how you can repay your loan and become debt-free. Therefore, it is important that you, a former beneficiary and a responsible Namibian, show your patriotism by helping pay back your loan and thus helping NSFAF become a revolving fund for the benefit of future potential students. By failing to pay back your NSFAF loan, you risk being blacklisted or having a court order against you. So arrange with the fund to pay back your loan today. For more information on how you can repay your loan, visit our website at www.nasfaf.na or visit our Facebook page or Twitter. Do the right thing and hashtag payback the money.
In today's economic news, the African Development Bank is working on establishing an African Youth Investment Bank to build young entrepreneurship capacity on the continent. This was said by bank's president Akinwumi Adesina at the bank's annual meeting last week. Sports journalist Owarukau Ampofo said many young people want to leave the continent, not because they don't like Africa, but because they want to work when they finish their studies and they think they will find a better job elsewhere. We must show them everything is possible here and that they can earn money by staying in Africa, he said. Adesina said the bank was working on establishing a youth investment bank to give young people more opportunities to train, invest, and create jobs for themselves, thereby succeeding on the continent. This project will reinforce the affirmative financing action for Women in Africa initiative, through which the bank has made $420 million available for women's business in 2021. This will be increased to $500 million in 2022, he said. Pandemic-induced spikes in consumer sales and labor shortages triggered artery clogging nightmares for some of the world's busiest ports. At the more serious end of the spectrum, this has contributed to food shortages. But maritime backlogs can delay the delivery of everything, ranging from clothes to couches to cars. More than 4/5 of global merchandise trade is carried by sea, and container trade has been growing at a faster rate than global output itself. How the maritime sector performs, as shown over the course of the past 2 years, is vital for international trade. Whenever there is friction in the maritime sector, it translates quickly to shortages on shelves. Maritime ports are a key element in the cost of international trade for any country. Let's take a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar retains its value against the pound while increasing against the euro. MTC stock prices are still trading at $7 Namibian and 51 cents on the NSX as most prices remain unchanged. Local index remains unchanged while NSX overall index is up by 0.93%. Gold prices are down by 0.88% while Brent crude oil dropped by 5.31%. Tigray's largest hospital has stopped providing services amid crisis. Stick around for the full story right after the break.
My.NA Property Show provides viewers with the best in-class content, engaging interviews, as well as a showcase of the latest property-related products and services. If you would like to feature your brand or your campaign on this platform, contact My.NA at synergy.com.na. My.NA Properties, more than just a roof over your head.
You're still watching NMH at 1. We now take a look at latest news in our neighboring countries. We'll later extend to the rest of the globe. In our first story, the largest referral hospital in Ethiopia's Tigray region has suspended its regular operations due to lack of medicines and power outages, its medical director has told the BBC. Dr. Kibrum Kebrelasi said the Adia Referral Hospital had reached a point where it could not provide services after 18 months of war in the northern region. He said the lack of medicine and medical supplies, as well as a lack of fuel, had prompted the suspension. Now there is no electricity in Tigray and we have stopped producing oxygen, he added. Doctors in the hospital had been working without pay for more than a year and could not support themselves or their families. Since Tigray forces took control of the region last June, it has been under an undeclared curfew according to the UN, with many people in need of medical treatment dying due to lack of medicine. Medical professionals had told the BBC in April that the hospital has reached a point where it was discharging 4 to 6 bodies daily, up from between 1 and 2 bodies every 2 to 3 days. Moving on to our next story, Rwanda will retaliate if it suffers further attacks from neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo, its foreign minister said yesterday, after accusing Congo of firing shells across the border earlier this month. Congo summoned Rwanda's ambassador and suspended Rwanda air flights to Congo over the weekend in response to what it said was Kigali's support for M23 rebels carrying out a military offensive in its eastern borderlands. Rwanda denies the claims and has in turn accused Congo's army of fighting alongside the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, an armed group founded by ethnic Hutus who fled Rwanda after participating in the 1994 genocide. If attacks continue, we will not sit idle by. Rwanda will have the right to respond to protect the security of the country, to protect the security of its citizens, and we have the means to do that, Foreign Minister Vincent Birutu told reporters. The clashes threatened to unravel relations between the two countries, which had improved since Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi came to power 3 years ago. The M23 insurgency stems from the long fallout from the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. In our next story, about 3,000 people living on the island of Mozambique are being transferred to the mainland as part of reconstruction efforts on the island, which was badly hit by a cyclone in March. There are households with more than 15 people sharing the same space, and most of these do not have spaces to build latrines and end up resorting to the beaches. A local government spokesman, Mohamed Amisi Ali, told the Noticas newspaper. Many of these people were leaving the neighborhood of Makuti, he said, describing their condition as vulnerable. The island of Mozambique, which served as a Portuguese trading post, is on the World Heritage List of the UN's cultural organization, UNESCO, because of its remarkable architectural unity. The US is set to send Ukraine advanced weapons as the Ukraine-Russia war rages. The full story coming up right after the break.
3, 2, 1.
We Talk brings you community news that lies at the heart of Windhoek residents. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact wetalk@synergy.com.na. You live, we talk.
In our international news, President Joe Biden has said the United States will send more advanced rocket systems to Ukraine as Russian troops press their ferocious bid to complete the capture of a key eastern city. The battle for Severodonetsk has grown in intensity in recent days, with heavy casualties on both the Ukrainian and Russian sides. One of the industrial hubs on Russia's path to taking the eastern Lugansk region, Severodonetsk, has become a target of massive Russian firepower since the failed attempt to capture Kyiv. The Russians now control most of the destroyed city, according to regional authorities. But in a boost for the outgunned Ukrainian military, Biden has confirmed that more U.S. weaponry is on the way. Will provide the Ukrainian arms with more advanced rocket systems and munitions that will enable them to more precisely strike key targets on the battlefield in Ukraine, Biden wrote in the New York Times. A U.S. official told reporters the weapons being sent are high-mobility artillery rocket systems, which have precision-guided munitions and a longer range than those currently deployed by Ukraine. The HIMARS are the centerpiece of a $700 million package being unveiled today that includes air surveillance radar, more Javelin short-range anti-tank rockets, artillery ammunition, helicopters, vehicles, and spare parts, the official said. Now in our next story, 100 people are now known to have died as a torrential rain triggered landslides and torrents of mud near the city of Recife in northeast Brazil. Rescue workers continue the search for people still missing after poor neighborhoods and shanty towns were swept away in the region. President Jair Bolsonaro posted video on social media showing him in a helicopter flying over the area. He later said it had been too dangerous to land because of soil instability. Some 1,200 rescue personnel using boats and helicopters were deployed in the state of Pernambuco, where the disaster occurred. One resident told TV Global that he had lost 11 relatives, while another, Flavio Jose da Silva, was searching for his stepfather in the rubble of what was once his house. Deadly flooding and landslides have killed hundreds of people in Brazil over the past year. Experts link the bad weather to La Nina, a climate pattern in the Pacific Ocean that can affect weather worldwide. Many factors contribute to flooding, but a warming atmosphere caused by climate change makes extreme rainfall more likely. Do stick around for local sports news right after the break.
Sunset News is a daily news show focusing on national headlines as well as international news. If you'd like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, please contact sunset@synergy.com.na. Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.
In our local sports news, the Namibia Rugby Union has received assurance of continued backing from its long-standing main sponsor ahead of Rugby Africa's fast-approaching Men's World Cup 2023 qualification tournament. At a press conference yesterday, Namibia Breweries Limited confirmed that it will provide financial backing to the national men's rugby team until the end of next year. NBL's involvement will start with the Namibian squad selected to play the visiting Blue Bulls this Saturday in Windhoek. The local boys will compete as the Windhoek Drought Velvetias. The friendly encounter will serve to show the national coaching team led by Alistair Coetzee locally based players worthy of contention alongside the country's foreign professionals playing in France, England, the United States and elsewhere. NRUC CEO John Haynes said the national training squad will be selected for a 3-week training camp at Stellenbosch, which will include friendly matches against Western Province, the University of Stellenbosch and Italy A. Football lovers were left wanting more at the end of a successful tournament hosted at Oshakati over several days last week. The tournament attracted 111 teams from across Namibia, the largest team event in the region's history, organizers said. The event began on 25 May and concluded on Sunday with Ohangwena-based football club Eshoke Chula Chula crowned the champions. The team defeated Sandi Village Council 2-0 after Ndakelwa Wakupilile and Moses Shivelo led the squad to victory by delivering brilliant goals. The Ohangwena team scooped a floating trophy, 18 gold medals and a cash prize of 15,000 Namibian dollars, while the players from Tsanti walked away with 18 silver medals and 10,000 Namibian dollars in cash. Meanwhile, the Chipolopolo and Brigade teams both scooped a 3,000 Namibian dollars cash prize. In the veteran soccer category, the Sandy team scooped the first place and walked away with 18 gold medals and 6,000 Namibian dollars cash prize after beating Ondangwa Masters 5-4 on penalties. Ondangwa Masters earned 16 silver medals and 4,000 Namibian dollars, while Oshana Nampol and Northern Coaches received 2,000 Namibian dollars reward each. Namibian lightweight world champion boxer Albinus Danny Boy Feliciano entertained a room full of spectators on Friday night with his impressive form as he readies for a WBO fight in Windhoek within the next 2 months. He was going to have an exhibition fight with Namibian martial arts expert Uiskwanja Landsberg, but the latter was a no-show. So Danny Boy instead took on 2 Namibian boxers, Rafael Ita and Edison Bulelo Ngipondoka, over 3 rounds each, back-to-back. Some thought he was playing with them, but Ita and Ngipondoka were definitely not holding back in dishing out pain to their opponent. The main objective of the Night of Pain boxing tournament, which was organized by Danny Boy, was not his exhibition fight, but rather for the inspiration and development of young boxers. About 40 young boxers, some as young as 8, from all over the region came to Swakopmund to get into the ring and fight. Right after the break, we will highlight news from the international sports scene.
In Business 7, you get news on current economic, financial, and business matters in Namibia. The weekly show features interviews with experts and in-depth analysis of burning issues in a way that caters for ordinary Namibians and business connoisseurs alike. For news-related or advertising queries, please contact B7 at synergy.com.na.
In our international sports news, SuperSport United caretaker coach Andre Arance insists he will support the decision of club captain Ronwen Williams if he decides to leave the club. Williams has declared his desire to play for a club to challenge for league honours next season. The 30-year-old goalkeeper has spent more than 10 years with Matsatsansa after being promoted to the first team in 2010. Williams has been linked with a move to Orlando Pirates in the past. Al Ahly failed to get their hands on a 3rd consecutive CAF Champions League title following a 2-0 defeat to Wydad Casablanca in the final on Monday evening. Presi Tao led the line in an attack that comprised of Ahmed Abdel Kader and Hassan El Shahat as Wydad preferred Guy Bensa and Ahmad El Houssini up top. The Moroccan Giants had the perfect start on 15 minutes after a lost pass saw Zuhai Mutaraji take aim and fire into the top corner, giving goalkeeper Mohamed El Shenawai no chance. Ali looked for a quick response following a few minutes later from a corner kick by Ali Mahaloul, but Yasser Ibrahim headed the full-back's delivery well off target. Do stick around for highlights right after the break. You're watching NMH at 1, and if you've just joined us, here are your news highlights. The 23-year-old Albertina Jason, who disappeared with another woman's 3-month-old baby on 15th May from Tsumeb, was arrested yesterday at Oshanja village near Oshakati. The baby boy was medically checked and was confirmed to be in good health. The largest referral hospital in Ethiopia's Tigray region has suspended its regular operations due to lack of medicines and power outages, its medical director has told the BBC. President Joe Biden has said the United States will send more advanced rocket systems to Ukraine as Russian troops press their ferocious bid to complete the capture of a key eastern city. At a press conference yesterday, Namibia Breweries Limited confirmed that it will provide financial backing to the national men's rugby team until the end of next year. Those have been your highlights. Thank you for staying with NMH at 1 and spending your lunch hour with me, Glenora Shipura. Remember to tune in every weekday at 1 p.m. as we take you through the latest happenings in Namibia and beyond. Do stay with us for a compilation of news from across Namibia in our regional review segment.
Good day, viewers, and welcome back to Regional Review. My name is Monique Adams, and I'm your South correspondent for Namibia Media Holdings. First up in our news segment, last week Thursday on the 26th of May 2022, OUS hosted this year's Boerevereniging Winterskool under the theme Sustainable Farming. So let's take a look at what happened.
Hallo, ek is Dani Loots. Ek is OUS Boerevereniging se voorsitter. Dit was ons geleentheid hierdie jaar om die winterskool aan te bied. Dis elke NLI Boerevereniging het 'n geleentheid elke jaar om die winterskool aan te bied. So ja, hierdie jaar was ons beurt geweest. Ons het gister al begin en ons het redelik stalletjies hierso wat kom uitstal het. Om net so 'n paar te noem is Toyota was hier geweest, Feedmaster, Old Mutual, onsself het 'n stalletjie, hier's nog 'n klompie. So ja, ons is in totaal dink ek so 12 stalletjies wat kom uitstal het. Ongelukkig het ons 'n paar kansellasies gehad. Maar ja, en dan het ons binne in ons saal het ons sprekers wat bietjie vir ons kom inligting deel oor ons omgewing, bietjie geskiedenis kom praat oor wat rondom OUS aangaan, wat het hier gebeur. En ja, baie mense kom leer vir ons op bietjie nuwe goeters. Ons tema hierdie jaar was vir die winterskool is Leef die Woestyn. So party mense het vir ons kom vertel van ons reënvalsyfers in ons gebied en hoe dit al verander het en hoe ons daarbey kan aanpas. En ja, dit is so in kort wat ek kan sê van dit. Van die sprekers, ons het redelik baie inligting gekry, baie interessante mense gehad. En ek wil ook baie dankie sê vir die mense wat vir ons kom ondersteun het hierso. Dis ook vir ons 'n fondsinsamelingkie. So ja, baie dankie vir die wat gekom het en dit wat ons alles kon leer, almal wat moeite gedoen het om hiernatoe te kom. En ons sprekers, ons borge, ons wil vir almal baie dankie sê. En ja, sterkte van almal en ek hoop as dit die volgende boerevereniging se beurt is, sal meer mense vir hulle ook ondersteun en ja, dit is dit. Baie dankie.
Wow.
Jy kan ek weet nie hoe jy gaan 'n artikel of iets skryf nie, maar daar is social media links wat jy kan gebruik as jy wil vir stofpad.
Okay, is dit op hierdie?
My.NA Property Show provides viewers with the best in-class content, engaging interviews, as well as a showcase of the latest property-related products and services. If you would like to feature your brand or your campaign on this platform, contact My.NA at synergy.com.na. My.NA Properties, more than just a roof over your head.
Next up, Tuesday on the 31st of May 2022, the Minister of Education, Arts and Culture visited the Qaras region. Esther Gipandoka hosted the Education Summit for 2022 at the Cederlig High School. And let's take a look at a few highlights.
This Transforming Education Summit is based on 5 thematic tracks which must be taken into consideration during this regional consultation process. Inclusive equitability, safe and healthy schools, learning and skills for life, work and sustainable development, digital learning and transformation, teachers teaching and the teaching profession, as well as financing of education.
The Evening Review is a daily interview-based talk show that dissects and expounds on current affairs as they occur in Namibia. The show aims at reaching Namibians of all age groups who seek better understanding of the state of current affairs in the country. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com and cross-shared on the following Facebook platforms: Namibian Sun and Namibia Media Holdings. The Evening Review focuses on interviews, latest news and up-to-the-minute current events. Contact Evening at synergy.com.na. Evening Review, unpacking today's pertinent issues.
Last week, which was a long weekend, had the people here in the Qaras region, especially Kitmanswap, very busy as the Nama Cultural Festival 2022 commenced. So let's take a look at a few highlights.
Stop, please. Lekker zacht, zoals je ziet. Zo, je smaakt zo zeer lekker. Lever wat ik hier heb, die smaakt bijna lekker met dat traditionele brood wat ons doen op die viermaat. Die vlees is van 10 rand af. En ik heb ooit 5 rand. Ik denk zo, vleesjes op, vlees met broodjes. Het smaakt zo sterk, want het is bijna lekker. Ziet er goed uit, bij je ziet hoe groot is, het is mooi zacht. Het is honger, man. Nee, dat vind ik dan. Misschien net mooi zo met twee. Ah, ja, stuk op. Ze gaan één erbij in. Oké.
En een beetje vlees, hè?
Vlees is vlees. Ja, vlees is apart. Vlees is een beetje zo. Ja. Kan er ook vlees is. Maar dan ook gewoon.
Basta fui kuasa aska. Basta fui kuasa go. Aha.
Sa mrokuha dan aris ko ngaka kuika ha na likamto alosi ke sovia stata men wa en an urun aroma tigan ai kuika ha oi nesi roman ha kai mas que yo oja si miri tomas que yo no amose no.
Nee, Tunumidastra.
Is angarehu. Si saunau. Sat tidida tim aigu. Hami mais kwa. Si kain arestise. Dagira kametrati. Hello, Pump. Sit up. Sing anukagapting onsna. Amen. Amen.
That has brought us to the end of today's news segment. Now we head over to our interview where we got to speak to one of the stall owners at the Nama Cultural Festival of 2022, Martha April, who makes her own soap called Martha's Boere Seep.
Ek is woonagtig in Windhoek, kom maar staan. Ons het as gesin in 2020 het ons begin met hierdie boerseep. Dit is iets wat die Here vir my gegee het omdat ons die behoefte gehad het dat my familie geraak was deur COVID en toe het ons hierdie ding begin. So hierdie seep wat ons maak is eintlik van die ou tyd se voortrekker mense af wat dit kom. Die blokkies is omtrent sulke grote blokkies. Dan het ons die gerasperde seep wat ons maak. En dan het ons die stene wat nou so lyk. En dit is huishoudelike seep. Dis 'n seep wat jy kan in die huis en rondom die huis gebruik. Hierdie seep kan jy veeldoelig gebruik, soos vir paddoeke was. Dit maak jou paddoeke baie mooi skoon, jou wit was goed, jou sokkies, jou onderarmswete en ja, dis is baie veeldoelig. Ek het in 2020 begin toe COVID op sy ergste begin het. En daai tyd toe dit het nie lank gevat nie. Toe kan ek my seep in die winkels gaan sit en daar gaan verkoop. So wat ek nou eintlik vir mense wil sê is ek wil ook nou ander mense help om hulle se handgemaakte produkte te verkoop. En toe, omdat ek gesien het my entrepreneurskap het vir my alreeds 'n stoot gegee, so wil ek ook ons gemeenskap help. So nou maak ek nou weer markdagte waar ek nou weer vir die ander mense sê kom bring ook julle se goedjies en dan verkoop julle dit. So ons het elke een van die maande het ons 'n markdag in Kommersdal wat ons entrepreneurs bymekaar roep en dan verkoop ons goedjies en so aan.
Rehoboth is sunny and breezy today, but temps will rise slightly as from tomorrow. Nighttime temps of 0 degrees are expected over the weekend. Marintel is sunny and pleasant at the moment, with rising daytime temps as from tomorrow. Considerable cloudiness is forecast as from next Monday. Keetmanshoop is pleasant, with temps in the low 20s for the rest of the week. Sunny and beautiful conditions prevail in Karasburg, with a high of 27 expected on Friday. Ludritz is sunny and very warm this week, with temps hovering at the 30-degree mark.
Well, that has unfortunately brought us to the end of today's show, but please do make sure to catch me again next week, Wednesday, same time, same place. It's winter time, keep warm, take care, and be safe.